Today we are going to draw a blue swallowtail butterfly with photo reference. Feel free to adjust the speed of the video if I'm going too fast or too slow for you. My watercolor paper is 11 by 15 centimeters. It's important not to press too hard on your pencil when sketching, because you need to be able to erase it later. Step 1 is dividing the paper into 4 areas by both a horizontal and a vertical dividing line. For an accurate likeness, you have to look carefully at the details. Since this butterfly species has wing tails, the horizontal dividing line is slightly above the center. Step 2 is set up a frame in which you want to sketch the wings. Step 3 is to create the rough shapes of the butterfly with a few lines. We start with the thorax and abdomen. When you have set up the body, you'll do the forewings and the hindwings. When you're ready, your drawing will look something like this. Now we continue to refine the rough shapes until you have completely set up the body and wings with smooth lines. This way you can adjust errors as you go. At the end, your drawing will look something like this. You can now erase the guidelines. Now we can start on the details of the butterfly. These are easier to place, because you already have the correct contour lines on paper. We do this by using the same method as before, by indicating with rough shapes where the veins and blue cells are placed. I do the forewings first, and then the hindwings. In nature, there is no perfect symmetry, so it is okay if both sides are not exactly the same. But of course you want to keep it broadly symmetrical. Personally, I prefer to do a part on one side, and then do it directly on the other side, instead of first finishing one side completely. Sometimes I have trouble working in mirror image. So by doing both sides at the same time, I avoid getting inconsistent lines and an asymmetrical drawing. In step 6, you guessed it, we refine the lines for the veins and cells on the wings. When you are ready, your drawing will then look something like this. If you look closely at the photo, you can see in the dark parts of the wings, and on the body, some shapes that are not completely black. Include those in your sketch too. Some people prefer to start coloring, and then finish it off with fine liner. But since I have waterproof ink, I do the fine liner first. I can then erase the pencil sketch afterwards before I start with watercolor. You can make the entire drawing with fine liner and use hatching and cross-hatching to set the values of light and dark. But today I use my Indian ink, since I work on watercolor paper anyway. I directly color the darkest parts with undiluted ink. Then I mix in some water to color the slightly lighter parts. When the ink part is ready, I pick up my watercolor paints. I mix a dark brown color to give the body and the dark parts in the wings a bit of a tint. When it comes to color, I am not an expert. I've mainly worked in black and white in the past, so this is quite new to me. But it's a good exercise. I try to keep the center of the blue cells a bit lighter, and the edges darker. For this I mix 2 shades of blue, and try to keep the transition smooth by using the wet on wet technique. Then comes the hardest part, which is waiting for the paint to dry. After that, you can touch up the black parts to cover up some of the blue paint if necessary. You can also create a shadow under the butterfly to make it really pop off the paper, but I'll leave it as it is. And you are done. Tag me on Instagram if you also made a butterfly, or tell me what you think of the tutorial in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel for more drawing, photography, and DIY.